standard on one is I want to find out if a woman's single. The beta male revolution kind of gives you the basis for why Mo 1 became relevant in the first place. Without getting a long story, see, back in the day, everything was all about getting married. All the dating was specifically about getting married. Men and women weren't really engaging in casual sex the way they do today. Most women would wait till they got married to have sex with a guy. But starting with roughly the 1960s, things changed. That's when women start feeling more comfortable engaging in sex with men before they got married and outside the context of a relationship. So I make the argument in the beta male revolution that now that more and more women are having casual sex, you need to be more straightforward about that with women. You can't be trying to hide the fact that you want to have casual sex because a lot of women are having casual sex. I know that was a long answer to your question, but I had to get all that out.
No, no, no. I appreciate. I have other one that I hope you're gonna like.
Okay.
I recommend after this live stream go to read the last verbal seduction story in the Alan's book. Ooh, say it again. It's amazing. So, Alan, please, can you share any simple advice to get a threesome fast?
Oh, simple advice. Be bold and talk to the women you want to have a threesome with as if you've already had one, even if you haven't. That would be my most simplistic advice. Talk to women. Never talk to women like you're hoping to have your first threesome. That's almost like the worst thing you could do. Now, some people might argue, well, Alan, if you haven't had a threesome, wouldn't it be more authentic to just admit to a woman that you haven't? Yeah, you can make that argument. That would be honestly a legitimate argument. But at the same time, man, this is what I find, man. Women, when it comes to threesomes, women are more likely to engage in a threesome with you if they think you already have some degree of experience with one, at least one previous one. So I hate to encourage guys not to be authentic, but I guess I am technically. Yeah, I would say when it comes to threesomes, my simplistic advice would be talk to women. Two things. Number one, talk to women as if you know they're going to be reciprocate your interest. Again, don't talk to women like you get your fingers like, please, please, can I have a threesome with you and that other woman, please, please. Because see, they're going to think you don't know what you're doing. And they're not going to be intrigued about having one. But see, if they're under the impression that you've already had at least one threesome, then they're gonna assume you know what you're doing. Because, hey, I'm gonna tell you guys something about threesome. I've told a lot of guys this. A threesome is not as exciting as most men think it is. And I hate to disappoint some guys. Here's why I say that. If you have a threesome with two women that are bisexual, who are attracted to each other in addition to being attracted to you, that's the best threesome to have. Trust me on that. The best threesome to have, if you want to have a threesome, is to have a threesome with two women that are bisexual or at least curious about what it is like to be with another woman, what's known as being bi-curious. They either are confirmed bisexual or they're bi-curious. Because if you have a threesome with two heterosexual women, you better make sure you're in shape. You better, work out on a regular basis. Because I'm telling you, take it from Ella Gray, you're going to be worn out. If you have a threesome with two, the first time I had a threesome with two heterosexual women, man, it was like I had ran a 26-mile marathon. They ain't gonna want you to take no breaks, man. I'm telling you, the women are not gonna want you to take no breaks. They're gonna expect you to last a long time. So if you're a guy who has problems, like say with premature ejaculation, you're gonna ruin You're going to ruin a threesome if you suffer from premature ejaculation. I'm telling you that right now. That happened to me at least once. I'm not going to go to, but I had to happen at least one time in Chicago where I was suffering from premature ejaculation. Well, this was actually a foursome. It wasn't a threesome. It was me and a male friend with two women. So it's technically a foursome. And I had premature ejaculation problems, man, and it kind of fucked things up. But yeah, it will wear you out. And I'm not saying that lightheartedly. A threesome with two heterosexual women will wear you out.
Just beautiful, Alan. Just beautiful. I want to ask you, what's the difference between Mode 1 Hardcore, Standard Mode 1, and Mode 1.5?
Another good question. Yeah, main thing it has to do with is the language. It has to do with two things. The difference between the three has number one to do with the language that you use with a woman, and number two, it has to do with how quickly you lay your sexual desires, interests, and intentions on the table with the woman. Let's start with Mode 1 Hardcore. Mode 1 Hardcore, that's when number one, you don't hesitate before letting a woman know your sexual desires, interests, and intentions. Literally, beginning with the first few seconds that you start talking to a woman, you basically let her know you want to fuck her. And then secondly, in terms of language, you tend to use a lot of R-rated, X-rated, or triple X-rated language. So an example of being Mode 1 Hardcore would be if I was at a party and I saw a really attractive, sexy woman, and I approached her, and I was basically like, damn, you are sexy as hell. I want to share your company within the next week or two so I can just fuck you silly and make you come on my dick. I want to make you come. That would be Mode 1 Hardcore. Matter of fact, I would say John Leslie's character, Jack, the scene with the female doctor in the beginning of Talk Dirty to Me. To me, that would be a movie example of Mode 1 Hardcore. Jack, for all practical purposes, was Mode 1 Hardcore. With that female doctor, the blonde female doctor. Standard Mode 1 is when you first take at least 2 or 3 minutes and no longer than usually 5 minutes to kind of fill a woman out and qualify her. First thing I do when I'm Standard Mode 1 is I want to find out if a woman's single. So I usually either make a comment to her or ask her a question so I can find out if she's single versus is she married, engaged to be married, or already got a boyfriend. So like I would say for me, the closest thing I have to what I would call a default approach for Standard Mode 1 would be I will approach a woman and say, so when would you like to share my company one-on-one? Next week or the week after? And I like that approach because if she's married, she's going to quickly tell you that. If she's engaged to be married, she's going to quickly say, I'm engaged to be married. I'm not interested. If she got a boyfriend that she's in love with and she has no desire to cheat on him, she's going to quickly tell you that. So you'll be able to weed out the rejectors real quickly. And then with the rest of the archetypes, what they're going to do is they're going to start asking you questions or making a lot of comments. Like wholesome pretenders, erotic hypocrites, and manipulative time wasters. Well, first, before I get to those three, a reciprocator, when you use that approach, she's going to tell you straight up. Like if you use a Standard Mode 1 approach and say, so, when would you like to share my company one-on-one, next week or the week after? A reciprocator is going to say, what about next Friday? And you say, cool. And then you would proceed to let her know exactly why you want to share her company. Now, some reciprocators might ask you first, why? What are we going to do? And then you let them know. You don't wimp out. This is what I call the moment of truth. You can't wimp out. You got to let a woman know. You don't ever want a woman to think you just want to share her company for friendly conversation. Worst thing you do if you want to call yourself Mode 1. You don't ever want to invite a woman to share a company just to engage in friendly conversation. Because if you do that, you're playing right into a manipulative time waster's hands.